Where is Shrek?
Shrek! Shrek, you're on it! You're on
Shrek!
it! That's great!
And I said, hey, that's the story of my life. I had a good plan, but it didn't go right. Whoa, no, I'm overdrawn. I checked my account and the money's all gone. Why me? I don't know what to think. I finally get a phone and the whole road seems to be the story of my life.
Shrek the Third picks up right where Shrek 2 left off. Technologically, the movie is taken a huge leap. It's very, very noticeable in this film.
The attention that we put into all that kind of details is just amazing in this movie. The first Shrek, we started the animation in 1998. In a way, we have to kind of like freeze that system at that time. And then we did the same thing for Shrek 2 when we started animation in 2001, which we make it better than the first Shrek.
Fear me, if you dare.
And then for Shrek the Third, oh yeah, we have so much new things that we can put into the characters to build the system even easier and better for the animators.
Making an animated film requires a tremendous amount of technology, from the early story creation process through production, all the way through to post-production. And our job as technologists is try to find and make the greatest and latest technology and bring that to the hands of the artists to enable the filmmakers to ultimately create their vision of the film.
There are key strengths in both HP and AMD, and together they have actually been able to deliver us some products that really have put us beyond the cutting edge of where CG work is today.
Characters are still the same, but the inside technology has gotten a lot faster to work with, and so the way we work with the characters have been a lot more efficient. We've added more controls to the character as each film kind of went on, and on Shrek the Third, we really have characters that can have a lot of life to them.
That's true.
Our facial setups are now a lot faster, so we can actually go in and do a lot of iterations to kind of see the detail and kind of work with the character a lot more.
We're not sitting around waiting for stuff to happen, so we're able to make more and more creative decisions in the time that we're given on the shots, which lends to more subtle details and ultimately better animation.
If you were to look at Shrek 1, for example, you'll notice that there are very few hairstyles. They look very simple.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
We pushed it a step further on Shrek 2. If you remember, the shampoo shot looked great, but it took months, literally. On Shrek the Third, you'll see that we have many hairstyles, and it's all become more affordable in a way, so we put more of that on screen.
With soft and bouncy.
Sleeping Beauty, she has really straight, long hair. In the movie, she's funny. She keeps falling asleep. And when she wakes up, then you see all this like very snappy movement with her hair.
Huh? Who dat?
Snow White. The look of her hair is so unique. I mean, you look at her, you know she is Snow White.
I got you the biggest one because I love you the most.
Cinderella, her hair's not as long and it's all kind of like put together. When she moves, you can see a little bit of subtle movement to make it more realistic. Rapunzel has the long braid and it's so long that we really have to make sure it doesn't crash into her body when she walks.
Woof.
With long hair in particular, it's very complex because you have thousands and thousands of strands. And what we've been able to do now on Shrek the Third is use our incredibly robust compute infrastructure to be able to simulate the movement of hair so that we can use it throughout the film and not on just a couple of hero shots.
We spent a lot of development in advance of the film on the clothing and not having what we used to call medieval lycra, where everything was sort of stuck to the characters. And so now you see a lot of loose sleeves, double layers, triple layers of clothing, and real fluid motion, a lot more simulation of clothing.
That's actually a very nice leotard.
Huh. Thank you.
Just the amount of clothing that's done from Shrek to Shrek 2 to Shrek the Third has increased by 10 times.
It's just amazing the details of the fabric that they're wearing.
Shrek,
Yeah?
you look handsome.
Ah, come here, you.
Our costumes have become much more elaborate. The things that have prevented us from doing this in the past is just the ability to do that much computation. By using this power, that helps them tell the story.
On On Shrek the Third, we used fluid solvers for a lot of the gases, steam, smoke. A lot of the magic used fluids as well as all the fire. The tricky thing with Merlin was he's supposed to be this kind of old guy that, hasn't done magic for a while.
I don't have that kind of magic in me anymore, kid. How about a hug instead?
And we had to come up with something that made him feel rusty and not perfect, but he's still Merlin, so he's like the best magician around.
We have several liquid moments, let's call them. One of them is at some point Shrek has a nightmare and he sees a baby throwing up at him, which is one of the most funny gags in the movie, but also took a lot of effects work, kind of stuff that FX people love to do.
It's funny how every Shrek we do revamp the fire system to do something very different.
Oh, shrimp, my favorite!
We shot a lot of fire reference. We had one shot where the bra catches on fire. So one of the guys, Taylor, went out and we actually bought a few bras and he set them on fire outside the building.
We're actually using a real fluid simulation to do it. We change the way we're computing volume rendering. We develop new technique to be faster, more beautiful, ta-ta-ti-ta-ti-ta-ta.
Lighting comprises about the last half of the production process, so it's a big chunk of time. The Shrek films achieve a really natural lighting, more so than pretty much any other animated film.
You the spot!
In CG, one of the things that was impossible actually to accomplish on Shrek 2 was to get a diffuse lighting simulating an overcast day.
I guess for people who don't do lighting, that may seem like, yeah, so what? But it's actually very difficult to do because you don't have the sharp shadows that give you the definition of the form. Things tend to look flat.
The technical experts told me that what I wanted to do on this one was actually possible on this one, but impossible on the previous movie.
Now we're into dual-core Opteron processors, 64-bit. With better brain in the computer, the lighters can actually see more of it as they're working with it, which obviously makes things a lot easier for them.
We've been able not only to invest in our main characters, which of course look gorgeous, but also in all the secondary characters, and that was not true on previous movies. So if you were to look at the crowds in Shrek, they frankly don't look that great. In Shrek 3, it's really no longer the case.
We actually have a casting process like on the real movie, where the computer generates thousands of characters and the director will come and say, we will pick the kind of people that kind of look right for the situation and the kind of outfit.
I think if you look at the number and complexity of the secondary characters, those things have all gone up because of what's been enabled by HP and AMD technology.
It's usually very challenging to deal with these really big environments. So when we're building a whole forest, there's just so much stuff on screen that lighters have to be able to wrangle all this complexity. And of course our computers get more and more powerful, so we could put more and more things into our images.
We get a quicker turnaround, we can do more iterations, and we can make it better. It also allows for sort of the creative appetite that inevitably happens and that you want to add more characters, you want to add more environments, which make it all look very beautiful and lush. We need the power to actually turn that over so that we can make it look just right.
The users can interact with things that are just so massive. I mean, an ordinary computer would just...
I knew I should have got that warranty.
Again, it just all comes down to more and more computation, trying to simulate more and more of the physical world. The amount of computing power we now have available with multi-core CPUs and getting those onto the render farm, that's a big advantage for us.
The render farm for us has grown in terms of compute power tremendously over the years. We had 5 million render hours on Shrek 1, we had 10 million render hours on Shrek 2, and we had 20 million hours on Shrek the Third.
Whoa! Yeah, wow.
I am, I'm proud of the whole movie. Visually, the whole film will wow people. It's another step forward in storytelling. The way we believe in the world comes through in the images because they're done with such care and such attention to detail.
We continually push the state-of-the-art and the leading edge of technology, and as we solve those problems, those solutions become broadly available.